Okay guys, welcome to my channel, and I really want to clear some things. Recently I've had people complain about them doing bagging of yam, trying to cultivate yam using bags, and it doesn't come out well. And I've had series of persons who have been discouraged going into that again because of the outcome of the one that they did. And today I want to clear those minds, and I want to be able to help you, tell you possible reasons why your yam did not do well. I want to give you possible reasons why your yam did not do well. And it's very important that you understand that, so it will help you. Because the problem we have, most of us, is that we just put these things on the soil and we'll just go and sleep. By the time we go and sleep, at the end of the day, when it's up to 6 to 8 months, you now come and be expecting harvest, not knowing there are some things you expect to do. We nurture things. Nobody gives birth to a child without nurturing that child. Whatever outcome you're going to see in that child depends on how you nurture it. So nurturing is part of a farmer's life. So you need to learn some of these things. These are things you're expected to do for you to be able to get results when you do yam bagging. Now, if you want to do that, the first place people make mistake is the soil that they use. The soil that they use. Most times they just go and pick any soil from anywhere, they just bag it. Now, bagging your soil that you're going to use to do the yam farming is very, very important. Now, let me give you some factors. Now, when you get your soil, what kind of soil is that? You understand? What kind of soil are you using? Basically, the kind of soil you're supposed to use is supposed to be a loamy soil, not a clay soil, not a sandy soil. If it's a sandy soil, when you put water, it drains out very fast, and because of that, your plant may not do well. And if you are doing loamy sandy, loamy should be more. Sandy should be nice. At least it can help to bring in air into the bag. You understand? But loamy, sandy more will not give you what you want. And even if you do not use sandy, at all, one of the formulas you could use to be able to make sure you are having air inside your bag is this. You could actually go and get dry leaves. And I always tell people that if you are doing bagging of yam, it's always advised to have dry leaves under. First of all, pack dry leaves. When you make your holes under where water can be draining from, in that hole, pack dry leaf first. Pack dry leaves on that under, so that at least when you pour sand there, it will create some holes where air can be entering into your stuff. So it's very, very important that you do that. And many of us don't even make holes on our bag. We just leave it like that. You understand? You need to make holes, small holes at the bottom of your bag, so that it will be draining out old water. Very, very important. So if you don't do that, you are actually not getting it right. So number one is the kind of soil you are using. Make sure you get it. So, and another thing, when you get that soil, treat it in the sense that most times there are a lot of activities, there are a lot of pest activities going on there. So you need to actually get rid of those pest activities on that soil. You understand? You need to do that. It's very, very important. And for you to do that, you can actually introduce some pesticides, that can help you clear off the activities of pests in that soil. Unless if you want to sieve the soil and make sure that you gradually start taking out all those things one after the other, which I don't know if you have all the time to do that. So it's very key, because pest activities could actually stunt the growth of your yam. So it's very key that you take care of those things too, and that's all. So the formula at which you put your soil is this. You get, let's say 60%, get 60% of soil, get 30% of manure or compost. You understand? If you have a compost is these are peels that have actually decomposed after a period of time. If you have that, you could use that. You can get 30% of it. Then you can get 30% of 10% of dry leaves. These dry leaves will help air to be entering. So mix all of them together. Those dry leaves will help because where the dry leaf is, sand will always have some space around there, so air can be entering into your stuff. It's very, very key. So if you don't do that, it's another issue. One of the reasons why your yam may not do well. Then the second reason why your yam may not do well is the yam you are putting on the soil. Most of us put yam, they don't look for the one that is already bad. You get the yam that they cut the small remaining small part that is it looks good, and they will now come and put it on the soil. That's not good. Affected yam is affected yam. Get a healthy yam. The kind of yam you get, how big is the yam you got where you cut out from? How big, how healthy, how big is the yam? Or you can get one very small yam and you now expect the one it to produce to be very big. It's not possible. You get a small, you get a big, you get a big yam, do the cutting from there. So the kind of yam you are using, and if it's not an infected yam, it's very, very key. Then number two thing in that yam is that if you are using yam, what is the grammage of the yam you are using? Some of us say because you have to cut it, you just cut it in pieces, blah, 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 you now pack it there. No, it's wrong. Now there are grammage. It should not be less than 300 grams. The yam you are cutting out that you are going to use should not be less than 300 grams. Because let me tell you, the starch, the energy, plant needs energy to sprout. So the energy it needs to sprout will also determine the energy it's going to use to give you results. So if you go and get a yam that is too small, that is less than 300 grams, it doesn't have energy, it doesn't have enough starch that gives it energy to continue to give you, to produce. So at the end of the day, you find out that you're not getting it right. So get a scale and make sure you scale the yam you are cutting. When you cut it, make sure that each of the yam is giving you minimum 300 grams. In fact, don't even do more than, instead of doing more than, you can actually do below 300. You can say 250 to 300. But anything lower than that, it will not have energy. Anything more than that is fine, though, but just know that the rest is just wasting the yam. You understand? You would have just eaten it or even sell it is better than just putting it on the soil. You just wasted it. The advised portion is, let's say, 250 to 300 grams. You know you have enough energy to sprout and continue to grow. So many of you don't put that. All they know is they say you have to cut it in pieces. So you just cut it. The only important thing is have the part that has the skin. That's all you need. It's not true. The size matters too. The size matters. Yes. So that is number two thing. Then number three thing is the size of your bag. Many of us, they talk about cement bag. Rice can never, yam can never grow beyond the size of the bag or the size of the place where it is actually growing in. The size matters. So if the size of your bag is small, it will give you the size of that bag. So you need to, if you want bigger bag, bigger yam, get bigger bag. At least 50 kg bag of rice is cool. Get 50 kg bag of rice. Many of us use cement bag. Cement bag will only give you that size. Cement bag is small. You understand? Get something bigger. That's what you will use. So if you have cement bag and you give you the size of cement bag, don't complain. Don't tell me that the yam you did was small. That's not telling me that. Are you understanding it? So get a cement bag. Then another thing is feeding the plant. Most times when we do these things, let me tell you, yam eats a lot. Yam is seriously, it uptakes food a lot. Let me tell you, from 12 months when the yam is already big, because yam start building from 12 months. Sorry, from 12 weeks. Not 12 months, sorry. That's 2 months after. 12 weeks. From 12 weeks, the energy is going to the roots, because that's when the yam after they start developing, and it takes a lot of food. And it's expected from that 12 weeks, you are supposed to introduce more nutrients so that it can have more energy to continue to grow. And you should be able to introduce more of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. And the one it needs more at that time is potassium. And how you need to do that is, if you get your chicken poo at that 12 weeks, when you put it, you can get something like let's say if you are somebody that cooks with wood, you can actually get the dust. You can get the dust and pour it there. It's also a good source of potassium. You understand? If you want, you can go to the market and get synthetic potassium, things like MOP, potassium nitrate. You can also get that, introduce it to the soil. At that point, it needs the potassium to continue to do well. So at that week 12, you need to introduce nutrients. But we don't do anything. We just put it, and even many of us don't even water. So you need to introduce potassium and NPK and nitrogen and phosphorus at that stage, because it needs more food. it needs more food at that time. So you need to introduce those things so that it can help it to do better. Are we understanding it? Then the fourth thing is watering. Watering. Many of us just put this thing, they leave it to rain. When you are doing your farming with bag, understand that the water dries up faster than when it's on the soil. You know, when it's a rainy season and everywhere is wet, the soil doesn't dry up faster. The water on the soil will always keep your plant active. But when you are doing something in a bag, don't depend on rain alone. Like right now, as I'm speaking to you, we've not seen rain for the last 3 weeks. And now I left my bag assuming that yes, we are in rainy season. No, your rainy season doesn't make any difference. You need to introduce water. It needs water, and it dries up faster because it's in a bag. It's in a bag, so you need to give it water. So it's very, very key. So you need to make sure you provide that. If you don't provide it, there are tendency that the plant will not do well. So make sure you are watering. It's not underwatered, and it's also not overwatered. Yes, some people will now try to give it too much water. Make sure if it's water, make sure you have enough water. No. Check you as human being. You want water, instead of giving you a glass of cup, you can bring tank of water. You want to kill the person. The same thing with plants. When you overwater it, it will spoil. Then another part that is key is when you cut that yam. We always ask you to, rub something like wood ash around it, rub something like wood ash on it. Do you know why we're doing that? Is to scare away pathogens that will start eating up that plant. Because when you cut a yam, that yam is like when somebody have a wound and is bleeding. Now, if somebody is bleeding, you go and do something to cover it so that you will not get infection. That is the same thing we are doing. When you are rubbing those wood ash around that white surface of the yam, you are trying to cover the wound so that putting it on the soil, it will not get injured, it will not get easily affected. But let me tell you, when you cut that yam and cover that wound, there is even tendency there will be space where it will get affected. So I always tell people, when you cut that yam, after rubbing that wood ash around it, don't put it yet. Look for a dry, a cool place. Keep it for at least 2 days, so that the wound will be coated. Human beings now, when you get injured, after some days, that place will cover up. Even though the wound have not gone complete, but it will cover up, that nothing will have access to the inside of your skin. The same thing with yam. After like 2 days, you find out that wound, that place that was dropping water, will just heal, will just cover up. You understand? So with that one, you are sure that once this thing enter, nothing will start feasting on it, and it will not easily get affected. So that is what you do. Because they tell you put wood ash. Many of us don't know why we put wood ash. Wood ash you are putting there is to make sure there's no activity of pest on your yam, or any infection coming to your yam, fungal infection. Are you understanding it? So for you to do that, when you cover it, keep it for like a day or 2. Make sure that those surfaces have been healed, so that you have, this is more like double shock, that what you are putting on the soil is protected. That one is double shock. But if you rub it and you make sure you rubbed it very well, and you are convinced that you rubbed it very well, go ahead and put it, it's no problem. But if you are not too convinced, leave it for another a day or 2 to be sure that those wounds have been covered by what this thing will provide the clothes. I don't understand it. So it will cover. It's very key. Then the last one, or not even the last one, I still have 2 options. I'm going to tell you. Next one, I'm going to tell you, is the leaves, where you kept your plant. Many of us, the vine, a vine yam produces, needs sun for photosynthesis. So most times, most of us go and keep these things where they don't have access to sun. Those leaves you are seeing, you find out that they keep going towards where they find sun, because it's what is helping them to convert the food that they are eating. So without sun, they cannot convert the food, and without converting food, they will not have energy to produce. So when you are keeping your yam, make sure you are keeping it where it's having access to sun, and that's why we stake it, so that it will keep going up. The more it's going up, the more it's having sun, and the more it's your plant is eating well. Many of us don't do that. You take it up. You have to do it. You have to be taken up so that it needs to go up and have enough access to sun. So many of us, most of us that do back, because you do it at your convenience, many of us will go and keep it where there is not even access to sun and all those things. They'll just keep it there, say, oh, we've kept it, it's doing well. No, it will not do well. The food will not, the plant will not have enough energy. It will not have enough energy to to feed. So it's very, very key. So you don't need to do that. You need to make sure that the vines are going up. You need to make sure that the vines are going up. So provide the vine support. That's talking about staking. Trellis it, take it up. Don't keep it on the floor where you have shadow casted on it. It will not eat. Plants need sun. Very important to them. They need sun. Without sun, they will not survive. So it's very, very key that you need to put that into consideration. Without sun, the plant cannot do well. I'm understanding it. Stop that. So I've mentioned a lot of things to you. I've told you about the kind of bag you use. I've told you about the kind of soil you use. I've told you about how to cut your yam. Then the last part I'm going to tell you is, because you do bag farming, many of us keep it in a place where during sunny time these things continue to get heat from under. Let's take for example, you got yourself, you kept it on a tiled floor. It's fine, I don't have an issue with it. But a tiled floor and is exposed directly to sun, that sun will be hitting the under of the back. And imagine when it's getting that kind of sun, it will not do well. It will not do well. Yes. And you can't keep it on a bare floor. Bare floor is fine, you understand, but make sure it's not a hard floor that is always hot. No, you need to make sure. What I'm saying, the long and short of what I'm saying is that wherever it is, that part should be shaded, shielded. So even if you keep it, look for something. Maybe go and get something like palm branch. Use it and cover those sides. Provide some kind of, let it cast some shadow on the part where the bat is, so that it will not be having heat. Heat will affect it. It will not really produce well. So it's very, very key. When you do that, it will help it. So guys, what am I trying to say in essence? What I'm trying to say in essence is this: if you put your yam, don't expect to get results. If you're lucky to get results, it's good. But know that every farmers are people that nurture. So you don't put things on the soil and go and rest. Anything I put on the soil and go and rest, I'm not expecting so much. Whatever it gives me, I take it that way. So the same thing with you. If you put your stuff in a bag, and you come back and the return you got or the yield you got was not so encouraging, just know that it is not the problem of the system you use or the process you use. The problem is you, who did not make effort to nurture your plants. So, and that is why you got the results that you got. So, but I'm encouraging you today, go and put these things I said into consideration, and I promise you, you're going to get a very good yield, and you're going to be happy that bagging, using bags to cultivate yam is an interesting one, and it's something that will continue to give you yield. And I promise you, put all these things into practice, you are sure you are going to get very good results. Remember, I said in 12 weeks, yam will start developing, and in that 12 weeks, introduce nutrients. Go and get more of this thing, bring it into it, and in that thing, make sure you have more of potassium. If you don't know how to source potassium, let me tell you today, if you want to do organic, go and get dust. Look for people that cook with wood, pack the dust. You can use it. If you don't have access to it, most household in Nigeria uses dust from burnt palm bunch. Some of us, most families have it already in their house. That's a very good source of potassium. Then if you don't, you can get banana peel. Dry it and burn it. Is another good source of potassium. So whichever one you have, but if you don't want to pass through all those steps, go to the market, ask them for a potassium-based nutrients. We have the likes of MOP, these potassium phosphates. It has more potassium phosphates. We have potassium nitrates. We have a lot of them in the market. We go there, buy them, and introduce it. But if you want to buy synthetic, if you bring it, please don't put more than 20 gram. Don't put more than 20 gram. And understand, if you want to do that, we have soluble and we have non-soluble. Soluble are the ones you can mix with water. The ones that are granular, we call it granular, is the one you have to dig down and pour it inside, and it will gradually be dissolving inside there. So whichever one that you know or you wish to use, go ahead and get that and use it. But all we are saying is this: you have to nurture to get this. It's after you must have nurtured and do these things. If you didn't get a good yield, that is when you can now complain and will now know that something needs to be done about it. Thank you so much, guys. I want to believe you've gotten value from this video. So go and continue to farm. Make sure you are feeding your family. Thank you. Cheers.